Hello students, in our last lecture we have studied two new physical quantities which was thrust and pressure. In this chapter number 10, that is gravitation. So today we are going to learn everything about water, or how does gravitation work in water, how can we swim, why every object doesn't float or sink in water. Like if you throw a wood box, it will not sink, it will float on the surface of water. But if you throw a nail of iron, it will sink. So we will study this under different topics. First we will study, which is very short topic, that is pressure in fluids. It is short because you have studied this in chapter number 1, that gas and any liquid, these two states of matter are considered as fluids. Gas is also a fluid and liquid is also a fluid. Now in this chapter we studied that if there is any solid, it will exert pressure on the surface on which it is kept due to its weight. We have studied now what is weight and what is mass. So weight is force of attraction of earth. So fluids, which is gas and liquids, they also contain some weight. So they also exert pressure, but not on the surface, on the walls of container in which they are kept. If liquid is kept in this square container, it will exert pressure on these walls, on every wall or every wall of container in which it is kept. Likewise gas also, it will also exert pressure on the container in which it is kept. Now we will study buoyancy. This is the new term for you. What is buoyancy? So let's understood it by a activity. First of all, there are some questions given, like if you go in a swimming pool and you will feel lighter. Why? Like if you drawn water from a well, there is a well, there is water, and you are drowning water from this well in a bucket. So when this bucket full of water is inside this water, means it is below the surface of water, it will feel lighter, means having low weight. Once it is outside the surface of water, it will weigh higher than when it was in water. So why this? Like why does a ship made up of iron and steel, it doesn't sink in water, while if you throw this iron and steel of the same amount as used in ship and in the form of sheets, it will sink down in water. So these questions can be answered by this physical term, that is buoyancy. We will study it from an activity. Activity 10.4 in your textbook. It says that you have to take an empty plastic bottle. It should be empty plastic bottle with airtight stopper. Now you have to put this bottle in a bucket full of water. Now if you push this bottle further and further in this water, you will feel some force acting on this bottle, or it will be harder for you to push this empty bottle in the bucket full of this is water. Now if you go deeper and deeper, you will feel that this pressure is getting higher and higher. So what is this pressure on this bottle? Because you know that gravitational force is there, we are studying gravitation, so gravitational force is supposed to pull this bottle down, because gravitational force works that way. It will attract this bottle towards the bottom, but it doesn't happen here. Bottle is keeping outside of water, it is getting outside, it is feeling some pressure from this fluid. So what is this pressure? So it is buoyancy. I think from this you will not get the better idea. Let us take it this way. The force due to gravitational attraction of Earth acts on the bottle in downward direction. So the bottle pulled downwards, but water exerts an upward force on the bottle. The bottle is getting pushed upwards. So when the bottle is immersed in this water, the weight of this bottle, or weight or force exerted on this bottle, is greater than its weight. Means the weight of this bottle is lighter than the force exerted on it by pressure. Means there is some force exerted by this water on this bottle, so force of this water on bottle is higher than the weight of bottle. So if you increase the weight of this bottle by pushing it downwards, this weight of bottle increases than the force acting on it, so it will keep moving down. Once you are acting on it, you are forcing this bottle to go into this bottom, but when you remove this force or you pull your hand backward, you will see that this bottle which was there when you are applying pressure, it will come out on the surface once you pull out your hand, because this force will not be there, and again force of water will be higher than the weight of bottle. So to keep this bottle completely immersed, the upward force which you are giving by your hand must be there, or it must be more than this force exerted by water on this bottle. So the upward force which is exerted by this water on this bottle is known as upthrust. Thrust you have studied, this is known as upthrust or buoyant. Upthrust or buoyant, and this process is called as buoyancy. So anything or all objects, any objects, when thrown in the water, it will feel this force that is acting on this object from water, which will be in opposite direction of gravitation. So this is the buoyancy. So every fluid has its own buoyancy, and this buoyancy depends on the densities of fluid, because fluid also have density. Water and oil have different density. They are both liquids, they are both fluids, but they are having different densities. So this magnitude of this force will be different in different fluids due to difference in their density. So buoyancy will be different for every other liquid or fluid. Now we will study why objects float or sink when placed on the surface of water. So you know the answer. Due to difference in densities, when any subject floats on the surface of water, this is water and this is the object which is floating on the surface of water, means it is having low density than the water. Object is having low density and water is having high density. Then and then this object will float. If the density of this object is higher and density of the water is lower, then this object will sink into the water. There is also an activity for this given in your textbook, that is 10.6, in which you have to take a beaker, you have to fill water in it. Now if you place a cork means like this, made up of wood, and you have to place an iron nail. So nail will sink and wood will float. Why? Because wood is having low density than water and nail is having high density than water. So on nail, gravitational force or gravitation will work, which will attract this nail downward. But here wood, it is having low density, so the upward force of water will be higher than its weight. When object is having lower weight than the upward force of water or buoyant of water, it will float. And when object is having higher weight than this buoyant force, it will be attracted towards the bottom due to gravitational force. So here density of iron nail is higher and density of this wood box is lower. Therefore objects of density less than that of liquid float on liquid, and object of density greater than that of liquid sink in the liquid. It's common thing and all of you know this. Now there is another interesting topic, that is Archimedes principle. Archimedes is the name of scientist who gave some principle on this buoyancy of water, or how this upward force is exerted. So in this you have also have to perform an activity 10.7, in which there is also a beaker full of water. Of course we are talking about water here. Now you have to take a stone. So this is the stone. You know that stone will sink in water because it is having very much high density. Now you have to tie this stone with a string, which is, you can say that there is a string or balance which will stretch, or it can be stretch. So it will increase its length because it is a string. So when you attach this string on this stone and you are not sinking it into the water, if you keep this outside water like this is the stone and this string, you will observe that there is some stretching, or there is the increase in length of this string due to weight of stone. Now if you take this system and put this stone inside the water, once this stone comes in contact with this surface of water, when it was here, when you are keeping it in the water, you will observe that the length of this string will decrease. Here it was increasing, but when you put this stone inside the surface of water, there will be a upward force. if it is lower than the weight of stone, here also it is lower than the weight of stone, but there is some force. So this force will act on the stone and you will feel shortening of this string. Once it is fully inside the water, this string will keep increasing, but when it is near the surface, it will feel some force acting on it, that is buoyancy. We are now aware of it, that buoyancy will be there. But what Archimede said, he said that when a body is immersed in fully or partially in a fluid, it will experience an upward force. We know that it will experience a upward force that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. Means when this stone is thrown in this water, now when this stone is thrown in water, it will require some space in water, so there will be displacement of some of this water according to area of this stone. The water will displace from here, so the amount of fluid which is displaced by this stone will be same with the force acting on this stone. Means when you are throwing a stone in a fluid, the force which is acting on this stone will be same of the weight which is displaced by this stone. The weight of water which is displaced by this stone, it will be the same with force acting on it. So this is Archimede principle, that when a body is immersed fully or partially in fluid, the pressure or force that is upward on this object will be same amount of the weight of fluid displaced by this object. So when you throw object, some part of fluid gets displaced, so weight of that part of fluid which is displaced will be same of the force acting on this object. So this is Archimedes principle, and there is a story behind this. This short story is given in your textbook. You may read it if you are interested. Now we are left with last topic on this chapter, that is relative density. So this is density in fluids. Like we know that density of a substance is defined as mass of a unit volume. Means if this is a object and you want to calculate its density, we have to calculate it by mass upon volume. That is, what is the area of this object and what is its mass. So you can say that mass per unit volume is density, and the unit of this density is kilogram meter cube, because mass is having kilogram and volume is considered in meter. So density unit is kilogram per meter cube. So density of a given substance under a specified condition remains same. Means this density will remain same. Therefore density of a substance is one of its main characteristic property. That what is the density of solid, liquid or fluid, what is this density of this object, because it will remain same. So it is different for different substances. For example, density of gold is 19,300 kilogram per cube, while that of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. So density of given sample of substance can help us to determine its purities. Means how pure is this. If the density of gold is this, it is fixed. So when you come in contact with any kind of gold, you can calculate its density, and if it is nearer to this amount, you can say that this is pure gold. So when you want to calculate density, it is generally expressed by density of a substance in comparison with that of water. When it is compared with water, you can say that it is pure or not. So this relative density which we are going to study, this relative density of a substance is the ratio of its density with that of water. Means relative density is equal to density of our substance which we have taken upon density of water. So by this you can calculate its relative density. So this density is the ratio of two same units. Means here also density and here also it is density. So relative density have no unit because it is the ratio of two same quantities. It is ratio of two same physical quantities. Now let us try to understand it by an example given in your textbook 10.7. It says that relative density of silver, we are given relative density of silver, that is 10.8, and density of water we are also given here, it is 10 raised to the power 3 kilogram per meter cube. Now we have to calculate density of silver in SI unit. Like relative density is this and density of water is this. Now we have to calculate density of silver. So by this formula you can say that density of silver is equal to relative density into density of water. So here we are given relative density, that is 10.8 into density of water, that is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So by calculating this you can get density of silver. So this is relative density. I hope you understood this chapter. Now you have to write exercise in your fair books. Thank you, students.